when coming to the, if you take the hormones secreted from the anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary, so what are the functions of these hormones? So first of all, you observe these gonadotropic hormones are released from the anterior pituitary. These are called as FSH and LH. FSH means follicle stimulating hormone and LH means luteinizing hormones. So these follicle stimulating hormone function is effects on the gonadal cells in male and also in female. So for example, if you take the coming to the gonadotropic hormone, that is follicle stimulating hormone and LH. These follicle stimulating hormone and LH are effects on testis and ovary. So how these FSH is effects on the testis and ovary. So FSH means follicle stimulating hormone. So these follicle stimulating hormone effects on the male means it enters into the blood, and from the blood that enters into the region of testis, and from the testis it acts on the those particular cells. These cells secretes, or these cells helps for the spermatogenesis process. So that is the main important function of the FSH in males. When coming to the LH, that is a luteinizing hormone, these luteinizing hormones effects on the Leydig cells. Otherwise, this luteinizing hormone is also called as ICSH, interstitial cell stimulating hormone. And these interstitial cell stimulating hormone stimulates the Leydig cells. Leydig cells are also called as interstitial cells. So therefore, these cells are stimulated by the LH. Therefore, these cells are called, this hormone is called as ICSH, interstitial cell stimulating hormone. And this hormone acts on the Leydig cells, and that Leydig cells secrete the hormone that is called as testosterone. So this testosterone helps in the male to develop the secondary sexual characters. Like this, the anterior pituitary of pituitary secretes LH and FSH. The main functions is FSH is for the spermatogenesis, increasing the rate of the spermatogenesis, and the LH is acts on the Leydig cells to stimulate the testosterone, which helps for the development of the secondary sexual characters. Then coming to the in female, how the LH and FSH hormones are works. So for example, if you take the FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, so to maturation of the Graafian follicle. So here these are the different follicles are present in the ovary. So this is a final, this is called as Graafian follicle. From the formation of the Graafian follicle from primordial follicle that needs FSH. Without FSH, the Graafian follicle is not matured. So therefore, for the maturation or the development of the follicle, Graafian follicle, so that needs FSH hormone. So that is the important function of the follicle stimulating hormone in female. When coming to the luteinizing hormone in female, so after maturation, this Graafian follicle is ruptured and releases the egg which is present inside the Graafian follicle. So this process is called as ovulation, and this ovulation is controlled by the LH. So that is called as luteinizing hormone. So that is the effect of the luteinizing hormone in female. So that acts on the ovary or acts on the Graafian follicle to release the egg. So that is called as ovulation, right? The maturation of the Graafian follicle is controlled by the FSH, and the ovulation is controlled by the luteinizing hormone. So these are the FSH and LH functions in female. So when come to the another important hormone which is secreted from the anterior pituitary. So this hormone is called as a growth hormone, or also this hormone is called as somatotrophic hormone. And this growth hormone affects on the mainly three parts of our body. So number one is muscle, and another one is bone, and another one is tissue. So it means called as adipose tissue. So there are three parts are affected by the growth hormone. So one is bone, and another one is muscle, and another one is adipose tissue. So if this growth hormone deficiency or the growth hormone abnormalities are there, so then what happen? There are different diseases are there. So this is one is gigantism, and another one is acromegaly, and another one is dwarfism. So in this gigantism, so when this growth hormone is high, so in that condition, the height of the organism is increased, that is abnormal, that is called as gigantism. If the abnormal of this particular growth hormone, then the disease called as acromegaly, means the size of the hand bones and the size of the leg bones are abnormal growth takes place. So that is nothing but called as the acromegaly. So when the hormone is decreased, the content or the amount of this particular hormone is decreased, then the disease is called as dwarfism. So like here, there is a with the deficiency of this hormone that leads to the dwarfism. So this is the effect of this particular growth hormone, which is secreted from the anterior pituitary. So when coming to the another important hormone, so that is called as prolactin hormone, which is secreted from the anterior pituitary. This prolactin is secreted from this anterior pituitary, and this prolactin, the main function of the prolactin is to stimulate the glands which are present in the mammary, means present in the region of breast. So that is called as mammary glands. So these particular glands are stimulated to produce the milk. The milk synthesis or the production of the milk is controlled by this particular prolactin hormone. So that induces and maintains lactation by stimulating synthesis of milk. So this is the main important function of this prolactin. Next comes to the another important gland, that is called as another important hormone, which is called as ACTH, adrenocorticotrophic hormone, which is secreted from the anterior pituitary. And this adrenocorticotrophic hormone acts on the adrenal gland. That is a particular part are there. Adrenal gland is consisting two different parts. So number one is adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla. So this cortex region is stimulated by this particular ACTH hormone. So therefore the hormones are secreted from this particular adrenal gland are called as cortisol. So therefore cortex region of the adrenal secretes the cortisol with the stimulation of ACTH. Otherwise there is this is a medulla region. So this medulla region secretes adrenal in and non-epinephrine. So these are the different things. But the hormone is ACTH, stimulates the cortex region of the, or there are different type of cells are present in the cortex region, that is called as corticotrophic cells, and these cells are stimulated by the ACTH to secrete the hormone cortisol, and this cortisol is negative effect on this anterior pituitary. If the cortisol hormone is increased, then automatically that cortisol is that is called as feedback inhibition, means that cortisol, this information of that particular information is communicated to the anterior pituitary to stop the secretion of ACTH. Therefore the cortisol secretion is stopped. So this is called as feedback inhibition. So this is the cortisol hormone, and this cortisol hormone is responsible for the physical stress. So therefore this cortisol hormone is also called as stress hormone, and it leads to the hypoglycemia. The sugar levels are completely down when the cortisol hormone is increased, and cold exposure and pain. So these are the emotional stress. So these are the different symptoms when the cortisol hormone is increased. So this is the effect of this adrenocorticotrophic hormone.